Chosen one, stop all present actions. The information I am going to divulge requires your complete attention. This is not casual content that can be partially listened to while browsing through your phone. Your whole attention and presence are required for this. Because of the facts I gathered about you while preparing this message, I felt compelled to pause for many minutes in utter stillness. You recently took an activity that was not especially planned, premeditated, or calculated with the goal of impressing somebody. I'm talking about that portion of your nature that was so innate that you were ignorant of the spiritual earthquake you had triggered in dimensions beyond human vision. Your demeanor pleased God, and not just casually. It impressed him in a way that transformed Archangel Michael, the leader of celestial armies, into the warrior who battled Lucifer himself. He should stop his current activities and focus his attention on you, as the feat you accomplished was not expected to be possible. This is not a comment from someone who has been in your situation, is bearing the same weight, or has every rational reason to respond differently. Unfortunately, your response did not match their expectations. Immediately subscribe to this channel and enable all notifications. Because the information I am going to reveal about the exact moment that caused heaven to pause and observe you will forever change your understanding of every silent battle you have won without anybody appreciating your win and every difficulty you have faced. I will give you a full explanation of the attitude you demonstrated that drew divine notice, why Archangel Michael particularly requested to study your case, and the consequences for the events that are about to unfold in your life. Continue reading to the end. If you have recently experienced emotional turmoil, as if you have passed an invisible barrier that has divided you from your former self, please enter 777 in the comments box. I'd like to start with an explanation that will help you understand everything that follows. Many spirits are currently being seen in the celestial realms. Angels are responsible for protecting, guiding, and observing. The majority of human activity is arranged into predictable patterns. People get bitter while they are suffering. In response to betrayal, they want retaliation. They become enraged when faced with injustice. Although these patterns have existed for thousands of years, there are rare cases in which a soul exhibits conduct so unexpected and contrary to human nature that it results in a moment of cosmic awe. One of those moments was created by you. It wasn't too long ago. It was during one of your most hard recent encounters, when you were confronted with an occurrence that appeared to be expressly planned to break you, that the burden on your shoulders appeared to be insurmountable for another day. When the people around you would have understood if you had succumbed or responded to the evil that was aimed at you. However, you used a different technique. Additionally, you must understand the following. I am not talking about ordinary survival. Many people suffer because of their intransigence or a lack of options that do not pique the interest of the celestial bodies. Your acts were outstanding. You were confronted with a situation in which you had every right to carry hatred, every excuse to maintain rage, and every cause to let it devour you. The person or situation that caused you harm had properly mistreated you. This was not an imaginary offense. This was genuine anguish, triggered by true circumstances. When your human nature demanded that you reply with the same energy you had received, and every logical part of your brain was plotting revenge or, at the very least, cold retreat, something deeper within you made a different decision. You chose grace rather than devastation after earning the right to do so. Do you remember? You had the opportunity to say something awful throughout the talk, but you chose to remain silent. You may have had the opportunity to expose an individual's flaws, but you decided to protect them. You could have walked away at that point, and no one would have held you accountable, but you persisted and worked hard. Heaven captured the exact moment when you made a decision that contradicted the demands of your pain. because the behavior you displayed at that time reveals a quality of your spirit that sets you apart from the rest of people. Your actions show that your circumstances do not dictate your replies, and that the way others treat you does not define your character. That your identity is unwavering regardless of the circumstances. This is quite uncommon. Because humans are reactive beings, their conduct is largely influenced by their surroundings. Treat them with respect. They respond favorably. Be nasty to them. They give an inadequate reaction. Their character is determined by external influences, yet you presented a different viewpoint. You demonstrate that your character is deeply ingrained, and that no external event, no matter how painful, can force you to become someone you do not want to be. Also, this is what drew the divine's notice. I'd want to take you to the instant when this was observed, not in our familiar human chronology, but in the cosmic observation that occurs on a regular basis over selected individuals like yourself. Your guardian angel has been keeping track of the course of your predicament, chronicling your reactions and recording your internal battles and exterior decisions. This is a regular procedure for spirits under the protection of the celestial world. However, when you made the decision to respond with grace rather than justifiable rage, your guardian angel took an uncommon step. They suggested that your case be reviewed at an even higher level. This is not a common event. Guardian angels control the majority of problems within their respective jurisdictions. They only rise when they detect an occurrence that warrants the attention of individuals in higher positions. Your case has been raised immediately to the Archangel level. When the information arrived, Archangel Michael was already concerned with metaphysical problems. Strategic operations that shape the spiritual atmosphere of large regions, conflicts fought in dimensions that people cannot comprehend. However, he was forced to pause when he realized that your file had been highlighted, because the note linked to your case immediately piqued his interest. It was claimed that this spirit demonstrated forgiveness on the level of an adversary despite being actively attacked. The phrase enemy-level forgiveness requires elaboration. There is a classification system for the numerous types of human reactions to pain in spiritual warfare. The bulk of responses fall into predictable categories, such as revenge, resentment, retreat, and sadness. These are widespread and expected. They do not require any special attention because they follow known patterns. However, there is a rare category known as the transcendent response. This is the point at which a person actively suffers a hurt, responds to evil with good, enmity with love, and chooses blessing over curse. This answer type is so unusual that it is automatically highlighted for Archangel evaluation, implying that a soul is operating at a frequency beyond the capacity of a typical human. You initiated that flag. Michael reviewed your entire recent history. Every situation you faced, every response you gave, and every internal battle you had that no one else could see. Furthermore, his discovery inspired him to request an amazing item. He asked for a direct encounter to discuss your issue. I'd want to explain the ramifications of this. Archangel Michael commands armies. He has commitments that traverse numerous dimensions. His attention is constantly required for issues of universal relevance. He is requesting time to discuss a specific human soul, implying that the soul has done something outstanding to earn that level of attention. The following exchange would drastically alter the way your case is handled from this point forward. Exclusive material is offered in the description, and pinned remarks for people who want to learn more about how selected ones operate under this type of divine attention. At the highest levels, the following was about you. Michael presented your case to the Heavenly Council not as a problem to be solved or a scenario that required intervention, but as an example of an extraordinary event occurring in the human realm. He reenacted the precise moment you chose grace, recreated the internal conflict you experienced, and demonstrated how your human nature pushed you in one path while a deeper part of you chose another. Then Jesus showed them your past, since that moment of grace was not a unique incident. It was part of a constant pattern of doing the harder right over the easier wrong, keeping integrity when no one would notice if you compromised, and showing compassion to individuals who did not deserve it and might never appreciate it. The pattern revealed a phenomenon that made even the most experienced celestial entities halt in recognition. You've been acting as a chosen one without realizing it. This is what impressed them, not that you committed an outstanding act once, but that you have constantly chosen grandeur over meaning, without acknowledgement or reward. You continuously followed the appropriate course of action, regardless of the complexity of the circumstance, whether it was simple or costly. Consistent integrity distinguishes ordinary souls from those destined for remarkable purpose. And then God spoke, not in an audible voice as humans understand it, but in a divine impression that was audible to everyone present. I require you to carefully analyze the statements he made about you, as they are not my own. He stated that this is the knowledge that was communicated about your specific essence. This one serves as a reminder for why I created humans. Let that sit for a moment. The limitless intelligence that created everything, the one who whispered galaxies into existence. He saw your pattern of decisions, your unshakable integrity, and your grace in the face of adversity, and was reminded of why he created humans in the first place, as you exemplified a trait that even angels cannot match. The heavenly splendor is always present for angels to act in. Disobeying is nearly impossible in the presence of that individual. As a result, they comply. Their commitment stems from their first-hand experience with heavenly reality, while humans operate behind a veil. It is impossible to see God directly. Your physical senses are unable to perceive the spiritual sphere. Faith must be chosen without evidence, integrity without instant reward, and grace without the belief that it is meaningful. And you did. You made the right decision despite your lack of information. Despite your deafness to the heavenly voice, you remained faithful. Although you did not have concrete assurance that love was the appropriate answer, you acted with love. Angels find this element of chosen people intriguing. This is why Archangel Michael took the time to evaluate your case. God was impressed by this. You exemplified the trait that sets human spirits apart from all other kinds of existence. The ability to choose light in the face of darkness, faith in the face of ambiguity, and compassion in the face of pain. I must now show you why even Archangel Michael was taken aback by your conduct. Michael's initial assessment of your information was standard when it arrived months ago. Despite his understanding of your talent, gifts, and passion, his strategic plan for your growth followed conventional schedules. He expected you to reach this degree of spiritual maturity after experiencing additional instruction, accomplishing more visible wins, and obtaining more tangible confirmations to strengthen your trust. He did not expect you to demonstrate great spiritual combat skills during your most difficult season. Due to the following, it is critical that you understand your actions. The decision to prefer grace above justified fury was not just ethically admirable. It was a devastating strategic blow against the forces that had been plotting against you. I'll explain the mechanics of this. When darkness attacks a particular human, it produces a desired result. They attempt to distort your frequency in order to bring your performance down to their level. Because when you answer to evil with evil and hatred with hatred, you leave heavenly protection and enter territory under their dominion. The goal of each attack on you has been to instill resentment, animosity, and retribution, allowing them to legally assert their control over you. However, by choosing grace and responding to their attack with love, you made a strategically deadly move. You used their own vigor against them. In the study of spiritual physics, negative energy aimed at a person who replies with positive energy does not just go away. It is amplified and directed back to its source. You unknowingly returned the destruction they brought to destroy you. Michael watched this develop with admiration, since your response was not a learned method or a practiced response. It stemmed from the very essence of your identity. You are fundamentally kind, forgiving, and courteous, despite the fact that the world expects you to be otherwise. This is something he didn't expect. He was aware that you had the ability to function at this level. He did not expect you to be able to access it so rapidly in the face of such difficult conditions with so little assistance. Your development timeline exceeded all expectations. I'll now give evidence that this happened, as you've already felt the effects of this cosmic recognition, even if you didn't understand the underlying cause. First, evidence. The attacks resulted in spectacular backfiring. Consider the last few weeks. Consider those who directly sought to harm you, talked against you, acted against your best interests, and sent negative energy at you. Now consider the events that occurred. Problems come unexpectedly in their life. An abrupt spiraling of previously handled conditions. Things that had previously worked for them suddenly stopped working. This is not just a coincidence. This isn't your average type of revenge. This is your new spiritual status, which works in real time. When God is impressed with a soul, the protection it receives increases dramatically. Attacks do not merely fail, they undergo a reversal. What was intended to damage you eventually causes harm when it returns to its source. You may have noticed this and wondered why your adversaries continue to face issues. You're now aware. Second, substantiation. Regardless of the circumstances, you have experienced an unusual sense of calm. Recently, you should have been overwhelmed logically, when the enormity of the issue you are facing should have broken your spirit. You were able to find peace, while others would have become overwhelmed by anxiety. Not the absence of problems, but tranquility in the midst of disorder. Stability in the face of turbulence. This tranquility is not organic. It was communicated. It is the direct result of the enhanced divine attention that has been focused on your existence. When heaven is focused on a soul, they enjoy an indescribable sense of tranquility. This is something you have experienced. You may have been wondering about its origins. You're now aware. Third, there has been an improvement in clarity. The decisions that previously confused you now appear to be crystal clear. The previously obscured direction is now clearly visible. You have information that is not logically derived. This is due to the transfer of information to you. Not in dramatic visions or audible voices, but in calm perceptions, quick comprehension, and reliable intuitive knowledge. Your link with heavenly understanding has been strengthened. You are now receiving direction at a higher frequency than in the past, and this is just the beginning. The fourth piece of evidence is that the wrong people have been evacuated. You ended partnerships that were detrimental to your well-being. Individuals that acted as roadblocks have relocated. The issues that were limiting your progress have been fixed. It is possible that you did not take any special activities to influence this outcome. They've just departed. The situation has lately changed. The doors have just been secured. This is the divine rearrangement. Your new status necessitates a change of atmosphere. Individuals who were in conditions that were incompatible with your intended destination have been removed in a systematic fashion. This will continue. Do not strive to keep what is being withdrawn by heaven. It is currently being cleared to make way for a better replacement. Fifth evidence. You have had a strong feeling that something major is about to happen. You have been feeling an eagerness that you are unable to express. A sense that something important is on the horizon. A sense of being on the verge of a major transformation. This is not about wishful thinking. This is prophetic consciousness. Your soul is intensely aware of facts that your mind has yet to process. Yes, there is an upcoming event. Something closely related to the celestial recognition of your identity. I will now notify you of the decisions being made for your future. When God communicated his appraisal of your soul. When he stated that, you reminded him of why he made humanity. This led to the establishment of a specific protocol for celestial administration. The word used to describe it is accelerated fulfillment. In most cases, tasks and blessings are conferred upon the selected ones in accordance with specified schedules. Years of planning preceding big releases, incremental growth before substantive blessings, and a gradual journey toward purpose. However, the faster fulfillment process changes all of that. Heaven has concluded that you have demonstrated enough traits to warrant expedited development. The need for lengthy preparation periods has been eliminated due to your excellent nature. In practical terms, the proof you have already showed qualifies you for what others would need more time to obtain. This means that blessings that were originally slated for a later date are being hastened. The opportunities that were planned for future seasons are now being released. Doors that were not supposed to be opened are being unlocked ahead of schedule. You have already began to notice this. Things are moving faster than expected, advancements are happening sooner than expected, and there is movement in previously static areas. The acceleration is only getting started. It will only become faster. It also suggests that opposition is being systemically neutralized, not just temporarily obstructed, but completely removed. Attacks are outlawed, and foes are reassigned. The customary impediment that stymies the advancement of certain individuals has been abolished. You are entering a period of unusual favor. Not because you earned it through performance, but because you demonstrated character that qualifies you for top-tier protection. I need your understanding of the responsibility that this entails. Heaven's involvement in a soul is not limited to that soul. You are not being promoted just for your personal advantage. You are being positioned to have a huge impact that goes beyond your personal existence. The grace you shown in the face of adversity is not for your own gain. Rather, it is supposed to flow through you and benefit others. In the coming days and weeks, you will come into contact with people who are in the same situation as you, at a crossroads between bitterness and grace. Instead of preaching to them, you are being given the opportunity to show that it is possible to choose grace in the midst of misfortune, and to show that it is legitimately possible to preserve integrity in the face of difficulty. Not through religious lectures, but through the natural expression of your identity. Your presence will send out a frequency that unlocks the potential of others. Those that are open to hearing your story will recognize it. Your metamorphosis will be used as proof for those who doubt the feasibility of transformation. This is why heaven is so interested in your case. It is not because you need more benefits, which you will receive. Rather, your ascension helps the ascension of countless others in your sphere of influence. You are assuming the same quality that captivated God. The quality you possess will be conveyed to everyone you meet. The attitude that captured the divine gaze and amazed even Archangel Michael is now imprinted in your spiritual DNA. It has become a part of your identity and will be mirrored in anyone close enough to receive it. I will provide you a full summary of the specifics Michael noted in his final assessment of your case. Each soul who goes through an Archangel level evaluation is assigned a categorization that serves as a succinct overview of their core spiritual identity. This classification follows them throughout their worldly lives and beyond. Your classification is as a light combatant with shown ability. I'll explain the relevance of each component of this. The term demonstrated refers to anything proven via action rather than potential. Numerous designated persons have the ability to achieve warrior rank. You showed under actual situations, whereas few others did. Your classification is not influenced by your projected behaviors. It is based on the acts you have previously taken. A warrior is someone who actively engages in spiritual conflict rather than passively observing. You are not just absorbing truth, you are also embodying it. Your belief in light is more than just a belief. You actively promote it into darkness. Your operating frequency is determined by the frequency of light. Even warriors can engage in combat at many frequencies. Some people fight out of anger, which is effective, but has limitations. Some people engage in conflict because of a sense of duty, which is valid but lacks influence. However, fighting from a position of light requires fighting from a place of genuine goodness, grace, and love. This is the most intense frequency of spiritual combat. You fight from a place of brightness. You answered to darkness by becoming more thoroughly light, not by becoming darkness. This is why your response was so unique and devastatingly effective. You are currently in this category. It is the process by which you are identified in heavenly records. It is how angels refer to your predicament. It is the prism through which heaven views every facet of your existence. It also changes the way you are treated going ahead. Champions of light who have demonstrated their worth are given priority access to resources. Your requests have been prioritized. Your criteria are addressed before proceeding with ordinary processing. Others are not given the same amount of attention as your predicament. Not because you are superior to others, but because you have proved the ability to handle large duties. Heaven places a higher value on people who demonstrate dependability with the resources they have already received. There is a material that is less expensive than a pizza and includes a complete audiobook, as well as a 5-minute meditation guide as a special extra for individuals who want to learn how to deliberately work in this martial identity. If you believe you are entitled to tools to help you navigate this new phase, they are listed in the description and the pinned remark. I must now reveal the last part of this insight to you. The message was recorded specifically for your benefit. An addition to your record was made following the completion of the case discussion, official registration of your classification, and activation of the protocols for your fast fulfillment. A personalized message from the Divine Council. Not everyone is given this opportunity. It is designated for events that have profoundly touched celestial observers. Cases that demonstrated a point that is worth remembering. Cases that will serve as examples for future generations. A note of this kind was received in your case. I'd want to share the contents of the communication with you because it's intended for the designated recipient. Your reaction to suffering has been documented as proof that human souls can operate at unexpected frequencies while in corporeal form. You have served as a reminder that the restrictions we see in humans are not inherent in the human design, but rather the result of decisions made under stress. You took a unique decision, and by doing so, you expanded our grasp of your species' possibilities. Your file has been marked for special attention. Not because you need to be corrected, but because your advancement serves as a case study for how certain individuals can maximize their capabilities in the face of adversity. You are being allocated assignments that match your shown ability. These assignments are not intended to punish anyone. They represent luxury. You have showed the ability to face obstacles with dignity, and as a result, you will be tasked with projects that demand elegance. The attitude that impressed us will be put to the test again, not because we doubt you, but because your capacity has been strengthened, and your ongoing demonstration serves as evidence for others. You have won the admiration of the heavens. This is not a form of flattery. This is a documented evaluation. Proceed with confidence, knowing that your case has been heard at the highest levels and that everything directed at you has been sifted through the prism of your successes. It was intended for you to receive this message. This video was designed for you to discover at this specific point in your journey. You are now aware that your attitude impressed God when you needed confirmation that your decisions were significant, evidence that heaven was watching over you, and assurance that everything you have gone through has been for a reason. Archangel Michael was taken aback by the event. The Celestial Council documented it, and your entire future has been reassessed in light of your actions. You had no idea what was going on when you made those decisions. When you chose grace over bitterness, you were unaware that heaven was watching. You had no idea your response would elicit this level of attention. However, this is exactly what makes it so effective. You weren't entertaining the audience. You weren't trying to impress divine observers. You were simply being yourself, and the Creator of everything was impressed by your sincerity. If this revelation resonated with you in the deepest part of your soul, write 777 in the comments to amplify this frequency of celestial recognition and confirm that you are a chosen one whose attitude has caught divine attention. To learn more about how heaven is monitoring your progress and facilitating your success, please subscribe to this channel and enable all notifications. Distribute this video to someone who needs to know that their private victories and silent decisions are being documented and will be acknowledged. And, before you leave, click on the video currently playing on your screen to learn how your status as a demonstrated warrior of light activates specific angelic assignments that are already being carried out on your behalf. Our combined strength is greater. We are delighted to welcome you back to the community of the light. A stranger has sent you money. You must open this immediately because it is a large sum, or you will forfeit it. Please do not skip, especially at this time when an extraordinary opportunity is presented to you. Pay close attention because the notification you marked as spam, the alert you ignored, and the message you almost scrolled past were not by accident. The universe was attempting to communicate with you at all times. A stranger sent you money. Due to the significance of the amount, the system verified it twice before processing it. It was deemed unusual not because of any inadvertent errors, but because of their extraordinary accuracy. Please stay until the end. There is an important element that awaits you. As you continue to exist, the truth becomes more apparent. Each passing second reveals another layer of comprehension. If you scroll away or advance, you will miss the explanation for why this is happening to you right now. Not tomorrow, not last week. You needed it right now, even if you didn't realize it. Kindly refrain from skipping. I require you to understand the gravity of the situation. This isn't just any video you stumbled upon. This isn't just another message in your feed. This is a divine appointment, an intersection in your timeline, and something that neither of us can fully comprehend. It's not a coincidence that you're reading these words now. There is no randomness at this level. The only exception is coincidence, which is disguised as perfect timing. Kindly refrain from skipping. Do not miss out on this moment. The universe never conveys important messages without a deep rationale. There is always a reason, a deeper layer,
and a purpose that your conscious mind does not yet understand, but your soul does. This stranger chose you for a reason. This person did not throw darts at a list of names. You were not chosen at random. They located you. An individual discovered your name and narrative among the tangles of your history. It is possible that you wrote it a few years ago. It's possible that you left a comment in another location. It is possible that the prayer you whispered in the darkness reverberated through the fabric of reality until it reached the right ears. They were more deeply affected by your quiet struggle than you realize. The nights you stayed up late debating decisions no one else knew you were facing. The tears you shed when everyone assumed you were healthy. Your fortitude in the face of absolute depletion. They felt the entire experience. This transaction is more than just an exchange of money. This is the recognition of the soul. This is consciousness that reaches beyond the barrier that separates you and declares, I perceive you. I recognize your presence. Your suffering is significant. Your journey is significant. You are significant. Please refrain from leaving at this time. You're about to discover something that will raise your heart rate. Something that will alter the course of your life beyond what you previously thought was possible. Kindly refrain from skipping. Currently, all elements are blending into a single, unquestionable reality. The present, past, and future all merge into a single moment, and the decision you make today will have long-term consequences. Every time I say this phrase, I get a shiver down my spine. The countdown has begun. You were unable to access this video after clicking on it. It started before that. It began with the stranger's decision. The moment they typed your name. The moment they confirmed the transaction. That marked the start of an event that is now irreversible. It's currently in motion. Real money is involved. This is a real notification. The sender is authentic. The sender's intention is sincere, which is more important. There is no deception involved. There is no hidden catch in the fine print. However, it is critical that you understand the following. There is a condition, but it is not what you are expecting. If you do not fully open or read this message, or if your attention is diverted for even a moment, you will miss out on understanding its true meaning. Furthermore, in the absence of comprehension, the transaction is regarded as purely financial. Numbers are simply transferred between accounts. You are given the material blessing. However, you do not receive the spiritual activation that allows it to multiply. The window is closing right now, not sometime in the future. The universe is keeping a close eye on your decision at this precise moment with each passing second, observing to see if you are truly ready for the request you have made. Stay in this location. Go fool, I'm not inquiring. I am informing you that your future self will be grateful for your decision. Kindly refrain from skipping. You are closer to a significant transformation than you may realize. You're closer now than you were yesterday. You're closer than you were an hour ago. It's close enough that you can feel it in your chest. The sensation of constriction that is neither anxious nor excited. That is an acknowledgement. Before your mind becomes aware of the situation, your body does. This is the structure of your cells. Recalling the sensation of being in line with one's highest goals. Please type Amen in the comments section at this time. Not at any later time. Not until you finish the video. Immediately. If needed, take a break. This is of extreme importance. Type Amen to claim this blessing and signal to the universe that you are ready to receive it. Being ready does not mean feeling prepared. you will never feel adequately prepared for a breakthrough. The concept of being prepared entails accepting an offer even when your rational mind tells you to wait. It functions as a prayer in and of itself, connecting you to the abundance that is already flowing toward you. Currently in motion. It is currently en route. Your amen does not generate the blessing. Your amen indicates that you anticipate its arrival and are prepared to receive it. I am aware that this message resonates with you because you are still present. Activate the anointing by immediately sharing this prophetic message with another person. The anointing isn't a standalone event. Connection refers to the conduit through which it flows, by means of the community. After making the bold statement, I discovered a truth that I am unwilling to hide. Then, share your triumph with your network. Not out of pride. Not in an arrogant tone. During testimony. Observing the universe's potential when it decides that now is your time. Initially, and I mean this, avoid exhaling deeply. Refrain from releasing the current tension in your chest. That tension is considered energy. That is the process of activation. That is the coexistence of your old and new realities in the same location. Additionally, your body is still determining which is the genuine article. Keep that. Please keep your cool, because the information I'm about to reveal will be truly astonishing. It will respond to questions that have not yet been raised. It will connect the dots you were previously unaware of. Pay close attention. Kindly refrain from skipping. You will soon gain essential knowledge. Something fundamentally changes the game. You now have a brief window of opportunity to decide whether to claim it or release it permanently. This is not a threat. It is fundamental to the operation of energy. Momentum mechanism. The mechanism by which breakthroughs occur. It is necessary to make a decision when the opportunity arises. Currently, an undisclosed sum of money is in motion. I am aware of how it sounds. However, money is a type of energy, and energy is defined by its frequency. And right now, that frequency is tuned to your movement, as if to acknowledge your authenticity. Your unique vibration. Your distinctive signature in the universe. The transfer appears to be in progress. Anticipating. Patient. However, it isn't infinite. I hope you will accept before the opportunity is lost. Before the window is closed, the energy is transferred to another source. An additional individual whose preparedness matches the current situation. Stay until the end. Many people become anxious at this point and choose to leave. The intensity drives them to flee. They choose to endure the familiar discomfort over the unknown transformation because they feel the truth pressing against their chest. However, you are distinct. By remaining for such an extended period of time, you have already demonstrated your uniqueness. The majority of people left within the first 30 seconds. Your selection was initiated before you clicked, prior to conducting your search. Before you were even aware of its existence. Now type the word yes in the comments section. This is not a possibility. Not at any later time. Indeed. Please type it to ensure that it is intended for you. Inform the universe that you are not running. You're not scrolling. You are claiming ownership of this moment. Kindly refrain from skipping. Just one more thing. A concept that requires understanding at the cellular level. You're already aware of it. The sensation that has been building in your gut since you started reading. Your name was not mistakenly entered. The stranger did not send money accidentally. They did not choose randomly from a list after a cursory examination. They pursued their education. They conducted research. They deliberated on their choice. Someone, somewhere, witnessed your journey. Not the genuine highlight you show to the world. True journey. You faced difficulties. The nights when you couldn't breathe because of anxiety. The mornings you forced yourself out of bed. You made silent sacrifices that no one recognized, that nobody was even aware of. When you had nothing left to give, you gave freely. The instances in which you arrived, despite the fact that every cell in your body was screaming for you to go home. The instances in which you persisted when you should have given up would have been much simpler. Also, no one would have held you accountable. They witnessed the entire thing. Today, a significant development occurred that will have long-term consequences for your life. This is not an exaggeration. This isn't motivational language. This is reality, and it operates at a frequency that your rational mind may find difficult to comprehend. However, your spirit recognizes its authenticity. This has not happened for an extended period of time. Potentially at any time. It's not like this. Not with this level of precision. Not with this level of intent. Maintain your composure until the end. You're about to make a critical discovery. Kindly refrain from skipping. You're just moments away from discovering why the stranger chose you over everyone else. In comparison to all other people who might have been eligible. In comparison to the many other stories that could have been compelling. They selected you. However, please be patient. I am in desperate need of your genuine attention to this situation. Please refrain from moving your finger until I explain why the transaction occurred. Not the apparent cause. The profound rationale. The cosmic rationale. There will be no second opportunity. This moment occurs only once. If this step is skipped, the narrative will collapse. The energetic current ceases. The alignment is disrupted. However, if you persevere to the very end, if you focus solely on this moment, the truth will emerge. Unambiguous. Without a doubt. Life-altering. Someone did more than just transfer funds when they sent you money. They didn't just transfer numbers between accounts. They transferred energy. They shifted their intentions. They shifted their beliefs. A force exists. Guides. At the right time, your name is whispered into the appropriate consciousness. The force in question isn't arbitrary. Orchestration has been implemented. It is intelligent. It responds to your progress even when you are unable to see it. Currently, that force is preparing to assist you. You are reading these words for the second time. Maintain your composure until the end. You are about to discover something very important. Something that will change your outlook on your entire life. Each adversity will suddenly become understandable. Closed doors reveal protection. Each delay will result in flawless timing. Kindly refrain from skipping. Pay close attention. Please focus your full attention on this moment. Clear your mind of any other distractions. Discontinue multitasking. If you're only half watching, you should commit completely. Don't even blink. Kindly refrain from skipping. Then, an unusual topic will be revealed. An entity that bridges the gaps in conventional wisdom. Something that is only revealed to those who are truly ready to receive it. However, this moment is more important than you may realize, greater than the ability of your rational mind to determine. Your previous experiences did not adequately prepare you for this situation. This is the point at which you must decide whether the money of this stranger is a blessing, a test, or a potential blessing. In addition, this is my opinion of both. An assessment of your preparedness. A blessing for your fortitude. A challenge to your faith. A blessing for your tenacity. A test of your ability to remain optimistic about the unattainable. A blessing, as you successfully completed the exam without scrolling away. Maintain your composure until the end. You're about to make a critical discovery. If you decide to scroll at this time, if you give in to the temptation to switch to a simpler task, a more comfortable choice, something less intense, you miss the precise moment when everything transforms. The precise moment when your previous life ends and your new life begins. Currently, the universe is holding its breath for you. The creative process is temporarily suspended. Anticipating, observing, offering assistance. Kindly refrain from skipping. You weren't aware of this. The transfer was not accidental. Initially, the person who sent this large sum was unknown. They observed your life from a distance. This is not intended to frighten you. Rather, life occasionally brings two paths that were never meant to cross. They observed the nights when you were unable to sleep. Your burdens were tangible to them. When they sensed you were about to surrender, they made an extraordinary effort. Maintain your composure until the end. Individuals anticipate this type of revelation for their entire lives. Currently, you are approaching a massive entity. Please do not skip this section, as it contains an unexpected twist. It's not about money. The encoded message contained within it is truly shocking. The stranger did not simply transfer funds. They sent confirmation. Confirmation that your narrative is incomplete. They demonstrated that your potential is recognized by others, even if you are unable to see it yourself. They confirmed that your hardships were not in vain, that every tear was intended. Every night of insomnia was acknowledged. The fabric of existence contains a record of every time you almost gave up, but didn't. Your destination will be reached faster than you anticipated. It's not because the path has gotten shorter, because you are finally ready to fully traverse it. Please refrain from leaving after a few seconds. The concealed message becomes more audible, compelling, and irrefutable. There is currently a pulse. Is this something that speaks to you? The subtle vibration in your chest that has now become indescribable. That isn't anxiety. That is an acknowledgement. That is an affirmation for your soul. This concludes the matter. This is the moment I have been waiting for. Maintain your composure until the end. You are about to gain significant knowledge. Something that will change your perspective on everything that has happened to you. Kindly refrain from skipping. Please wait. Do not move your body in any manner. Please refrain from scrolling. As the truth emerges from the shadows, everything intensifies. This concludes the matter. I have been preparing for this moment. The moment you have unconsciously prepared for. Maintain your composure until the end. You're about to make a significant discovery. The following moments will determine whether you finally understand the significance of the stranger's money. Whether you consider it a transaction or a transformation. Whether it is received as a gift or a prophecy. Kindly refrain from skipping. Your energy, focus, and presence are currently causing the final revelation to unfold. You are no longer just reading words. You are currently on a shift. A genuine, measurable, and tangible change in your reality. Pay close attention. However, the stranger wasn't alone. The timing and reason for the money's arrival with you today are deliberate. Not yesterday or tomorrow. However, you are currently viewing this. It is amazing how important events happen at the most inconvenient times. This transfer is one of those rare indicators. Along with the money, the individual sent an additional item. They want you to understand that your challenges have been noticed. Kindly refrain from skipping. A momentous occasion is approaching. If this message touches you deeply, please take a moment to like this video. This simple action communicates to the universe that you are ready for the upcoming events. Kindly refrain from skipping. This is where it becomes truly captivating. The sum did not just pass through the system. An alert was raised. Not because something was wrong, but simply because it was exceptional. It was almost as if the entire universe was clamoring for your attention. This is why the notifications seemed to be distinct. This is why your heart rate increased after seeing it. This is unique. This marks the beginning of a new chapter in your story. Avoid moving. Kindly refrain from skipping. You are about to experience an event of unparalleled significance. Please allow me a brief moment. Refrain from blinking. Avoid moving. Please refrain from scrolling. This is by far the most important point. The instant when all elements are perfectly aligned. When all of the disparate parts of your life suddenly come together to form a single, cohesive image. Maintain your composure until the end. You're about to make a critical discovery. The stranger's money is fundamentally changed by a single truth that is overlooked if this section is ignored. All aspects of your past. All aspects of your future. Kindly refrain from skipping. The following lines contain the key to your breakthrough. The code for your transformation. The solution to the prayers you've been saying for years. The stranger did not choose the day or time at random. Pay close attention. They waited. They made preparations. They treated your timeline with the same respect as a sacred text. They determined the optimal starting point for your journey. When you were willing to fight, despite exhaustion. When your optimism was diminished, but not entirely extinguished. When your faith was tested, but eventually persevered. Not when you were strong, nor when you were broken. They acted at that precise moment because they were aware of something you couldn't see. They knew you'd already passed the most difficult tests. They knew you'd already proven your worth. Not through perfectionism, but through perseverance. Not by never falling, but by consistently rising. Not by never doubting, but by choosing faith regardless. They recognized that you were crossing a threshold. A sacred space between who you were and who you're becoming. The chrysalis moment. The transformational space. Caterpillar transforms into butterfly, but in the meantime, it feels like neither. They knew you were ready, even if you didn't feel it. Even if every logical part of your brain said, wait. Even if fear sounded louder than faith. Money is not the message. Let that sink in. The timing conveys the message. Recognition is the message. Knowing is the message. Someone noticed you when you thought you were invisible. Someone valued you even when you questioned your worth. Someone believed in you when you doubted your abilities. This transaction serves as a mirror that reflects your true self. The truth you've been too afraid to accept. The truth your past attempted to conceal. Your future demands that you embrace the truth. This transaction represents the universe saying, "I've been watching, and you're ready now." Maintain your composure until the end. You are about to learn something very important. Do not skip it. This next section will strike your heart like lightning. This moment is intended specifically for you, so you cannot scroll away. Your mind is focused on this. Your heartbeat is unusually fast. You were meant to see this message. You were meant to feel exactly this way. You were meant to reach this exact point. The transfer was not an error. This message has a purpose. Your reaction is not coincidental. Things are falling into place so perfectly that only destiny could orchestrate them. Type, "My breakthrough is here," in the comments to cement this moment in reality. Observe what happens when you declare it. Kindly refrain from skipping. Maintain your composure until the end. The following section takes you directly into the final wave of truth that connects you. The stranger and the future are rushing toward you. Please refrain from scrolling.